Hello friends! Today we are diving into the How to Win and Influence People, a book that changed the millions' life. Let me tell you about the loneliest, most frustrated man in New York City. It was the 1930s. He was in his posh apartment surrounded by books but utterly alone. His name was Dale Carnegie, and his failure to connect with people almost destroyed him until he discovered a handful of simple principles that didn't just save him, they went on to save marriages, build fortunes, and create leaders for over a century. And today, they can change everything for you. This isn't just another video about an old book. This is a blueprint for human connection. How to Win Friends and Influence People has sold over 30 million copies. But here's the secret. Most people who own it have never truly used it. They read it like a textbook, not a survival manual for the heart. I know because I was one of them. I used to think success was about being the smartest, the loudest, the most right in the room. And I was lonely. My business ideas went nowhere. My relationships felt shallow. Then I applied these rules, not just read them, lived them, and my world transformed. This video is your shortcut. We're going to walk through the core, life-changing lessons, not with dry theory, but with powerful stories you'll never forget. Stay with me. Chapter 1. That is the fundamental principle. Do not criticize, condemn, or complain. Carnegie starts with a weapon we all use, but never admit is destroying us: criticism. He tells the story of Two-Gun Crowley, one of the most dangerous criminals of his time. When captured, Crowley didn't say, "I'm a monster." He said, "I guard myself from the people who want to take my life." He saw himself as a hero. In his mind, he was right. Carnegie's insight was seismic. Criticism is futile because it puts a person on the defensive and makes them justify themselves. It wounds a person's pride, hurts their sense of importance, and arouses resentment. The resentment lasts for decades. Think of the last time someone harshly criticized you. Did you feel grateful and want to change, or did you feel small, angry, and defensive? The practical lesson here isn't to be a pushover. It's to understand that understanding is always more powerful than judgment. The manager who yells about a missed deadline gets compliance, but also silent sabotage. The parent who shames a child for a bad grade kills curiosity. The alternative? We'll discover it in the next chapter, but first, you have to lay down this weapon. Chapter 2. That is the greatest craving and how to fulfill it. So if criticism backfires, what works? Carnegie says it's fulfilling a deep, fundamental human hunger. A hunger more powerful than hunger for food. The desire to feel important. Every person you meet is wearing an invisible sign around their neck. It says, "Make me feel important." And your ability to do that is your greatest superpower. Let me tell you a story that changed my perspective forever. Charles Schwab, the legendary steel magnate, was paid $1 million a year. Not for his steel-making skills, but for his ability to handle people. One day, he walked into a mill where the day shift had just left. The night shift was about to start. He saw a man standing by a cold furnace. "What's your output today?" Schwab asked. "6 heats," the man said. Schwab didn't give a lecture. He didn't say, "Do better." He took a piece of chalk, drew a big 6 on the cold furnace, and walked away. The night shift came on, saw the 6, and asked, "What's that?" "The boss was here," the day worker said. "He asked our output and chalked it up." The next morning, Schwab passed again. The 6 was scrubbed off, replaced with a big 7. The day shift saw the 7. Were they going to let the night shift show them up? They worked with fierce pride and left a giant 10. Output at that mill skyrocketed. Why? Because Schwab gave them a way to feel important. He created a game. He showed he noticed. The practical lesson: Give honest, sincere appreciation. Not flattery. Flattery is cheap and selfish. Appreciation is specific, genuine, and from the heart. Great report is okay. The way you structured the third section with that client story that made the data come alive for me, that is appreciation. It feeds the soul. Chapter 3. That is the magic of becoming interested. Here's a paradox that most people get backwards. If you want people to be interested in you, become genuinely interested in them. Carnegie tells us about Theodore Roosevelt. Even his servants adored him. Why? Because Roosevelt would greet a maid or a groom by name and ask about their lives. He remembered their stories. He saw them. He was a voracious reader on countless subjects, not to show off, but so he could connect with anyone, a cowboy, a diplomat, a hunter, on their turf. The practical lesson is simple but profound. Ask questions about the other person's interests, opinions, and experiences. And then listen. Truly listen. Don't listen to reply. Listen to understand. The most boring person in the world will open up like a flower if they believe, for the first time, that someone is actually paying attention. Your next conversation, try this. Ask a question. Listen to the answer. Your next question should come directly from what they just said. Do this for 3 minutes. You will be shocked at how you are perceived. You're not manipulating them. You are giving them a priceless gift, your full attention. Chapter 4. That is the art of influence, getting to yes. Now, how do you turn this connection into positive influence? How do you get people to buy into your ideas? The old way, start with your brilliant argument. The Carnegie way, start in the other person's world. A brilliant example comes from a student of Carnegie's, a manager named Karen. Her team was resisting a new, complicated software system. Her instinct was to send a memo listing all the benefits. Instead, she called a meeting and said, "I need your help. This new system is coming from corporate. I know it looks clunky and will slow you down at first. Tell me, from your perspective, what are the biggest headaches you see? And if we have to use it, how can we make it least painful for our team?" She didn't start with her position. She started with their resistance. She let them voice their objections, which made them feel heard. Then together they problem solved. By the end, the team was implementing their own solutions. The resentment was gone. The rule: talk in terms of the other person's interests. Show them how your idea benefits them, solves their problem, fulfills their desire. A salesman selling drills doesn't sell the drill bit. He sells the whole and what the customer can do with it. Frame everything as an opportunity for them, not a demand from you. Chapter 5. That is handling conflict without making enemies. But what about when there's real disagreement, when you know you're right? Carnegie gives us perhaps the hardest but most rewarding rule of all. If you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. When you're caught in a mistake, beating yourself up is more powerful than anyone else beating you up. It disarms people completely. It takes the wind out of their anger. I once sent a completely wrong report to a major client. My first instinct was to hide, to blame the software. Instead, I called the client and said, "Mr. Johnson, I made a serious error. The report I sent is useless. I was rushing and didn't double-check. I've already started on the correct one and will have it to you in 2 hours. I am so sorry for wasting your time and for my carelessness." There was a long pause. Then he said, "Well, thank you for being so upfront. 2 hours is fine." The trust between us increased that day because I respected his time and intelligence enough to be brutally honest. And if you believe the other person is wrong, begin in a friendly way. Never start by saying, "You're wrong." Start with areas of agreement. Say, "I see exactly why you'd think that. Let's look at the data from another angle." Make the other person feel safe, not attacked. You're not fighting to win an argument. You're guiding them to a better conclusion. Chapter 6. That is the final key, a simple, powerful request. All these principles lead to one final master skill. It's the skill of leadership, of parenthood, of partnership. It's about inspiring change. And it's encapsulated in one question. Carnegie tells the story of a factory manager, Mr. Howe. His factory was a mess. Safety standards were ignored. He could have posted rules, issued fines. Instead, he gathered his employees and asked a single question. What would it take for this to be the safest, cleanest factory in the state? What would you need? He let them talk. They came up with the rules themselves. They designed the safety checks. Why? Because they were his ideas. The practical lesson is this: let the other person feel the idea is theirs. Ask for suggestions. Guide them with questions so they arrive at the conclusion you see. People believe in ideas they birth. They fight for plans they create. Become a gardener of ideas. Dale Carnegie's book isn't about manipulation. It's the opposite. Manipulation is pretending to care for your own gain. These principles are about genuinely caring as a path to mutual gain. It's about replacing the harsh critic in your mind with a curious, appreciative friend. It turns transactions into relationships. It turns arguments into conversations. It turns loneliness into connection. This isn't a 1930s curiosity. In our digital, disconnected age, these skills are rarer and more valuable than ever. You now have the framework, but knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. So here's my challenge for you today. Pick one rule, just one. For the next 48 hours, practice giving genuine, specific appreciation to 3 people. Or practice asking questions and listening in your next conversation, just one, and watch what happens. Come back to this video and tell me in the comments what changed. If this added value to your life, if you feel a little more hopeful about your relationships and your influence, then do me a great favor. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, because we turn lessons like these into practical, story-driven fuel for your growth every single week. And remember this, that lonely man in New York, Dale Carnegie, didn't just write a book. He started a movement of kindness, understanding, and effective humanity. That movement now includes you. Go out and connect.